So Naira Marley is guilty. I mean, seriously guilty of offenses that are criminal. I mean, financially egregious and egregious too. EFCC is sickeningly biased and it's tiring. At the same time, that is sickening. Nigerians are hypocrites. We all have to talk to our senses. And Shomodemo, we better know our age now. Nigeria used to be giant of Africa. Now we don't come out the G. We don't come out the G and I. We don't become ants of Africa. What's the wrong with all of us? We better talk sense to ourselves. Alright? Now what we want to talk about tonight be that Naira Marley is guilty, and I'm going to tell you why he's guilty. EFCC is biased. Some of you already know the reason. Nigerians, we are all hypocrites. We don't talk to ourselves in respect of the truth. Everybody picks their own subjective comfort out of every situation. They talk about it. They talk about the ones that comfort them and leave the other. Where is objectivism? My name is Shegun. Let's talk about these things together tonight. I'll be right back. Why would somebody go online and be posting that if you know about slave trade, you will not condemn Yahoo Yahoo? What? Sorry, who does that? What's the meaning? Are you the first to be a G guy or G boy or whatever they call those of you in that category of internet scammers? What do you mean by everybody trying to correct you and you are firing them because you are now up and coming or fast rising artist? What's the meaning of that? Edrono Enitoba Junior, but that's not even the story. The story is those of you who are criticizing Rugged Man, who are saying Rugged Man snitched on Naira Marley. I love Naira Marley. I love his song, especially the collabo he did with Fast the Bad Guy, Olamide, Simi, that has all stars. I love it. In fact, I can chew it in my mouth. I played it every morning when that song was out. I played it every morning in my room. I love it. So I love Naira Marley. So what he did privately is his personal business, but the moment you now come public with it, I'm sorry, Naira Marley has a way he can get out of this, and I'm going to tell you. But he has a way he can also remain in prison. That is left for EFCC to prove their case. But left for me, at a back country, Gino. So somebody cannot be coming out to be rubbing it on our faces and saying, being a scammer is the next way to go. Excuse me, let me tell you the reality. If something is bad, correcting it does not lie in doing other bad. No two wrongs make a right, the way they say it. No two wrongs will ever make a right. So committing crime or committing further offenses to further steep or deepen the situation or worsen the situation that is already bad is not the way to go. What am I simply saying? There's a way Naira Marley can get out. The credit cards they claimed that they figured or found with him, he has right to defense, and that defense is if that Nicole whatever name of a person can come out and say, I have consent to Naira Marley's possession of my card, which they can do. This is Nigeria, they can do it. Somebody just shows up to say, I am Nicole, the person whose name is on the card, the credit card. The EFCC is claiming that they found in Naira Marley's possession, and I have consent to his possession of my card. It's my own way of supporting his project or whatever, blah blah blah, you know. And then they trace the transactions on the card, and then the person actually lives and is worth the amount of money on the card. Legally, I mean legitimate earnings that you can say, okay, I'm into furnitures, I supply ministries, departments and agencies of international governments and organizations, and I worth so amount every year. That's my credit card. And because I love Naira Marley's song, I decided to say, guy, take this card, anything you need, do with it. That's the defense, or whatever other defense you could do. It's okay. So that's the only way Naira Marley could, or have other defenses for other counts of charges that are preferred against him by the EFCC. It will get out. It's a simple thing. But who will stick their neck? Who will claim they have such money and cannot account for a credible source of income that is legitimate, that they can use to defend that kind of, you know, situation or transaction? That is where the issue is. But I'm sure that they are working on that side on their own. Now, if you're so terrified by the situation of the country, and this is to address those of you who are saying, oh, EFCC, only the more, it's only G-boy that you can arrest. The situation of the country is bad. Those of you that are trying to justify what Naira Marley did, if it truly was guilty of that. But I'm saying it's guilty in the sense that coming out to say on social media that those things can come, and this is to warn other people, these things can come to hurt you or haunt you later. If you have anything you're doing that you know is illegitimate or wrong, please be careful once you're on social media. Don't say because you have free access to internet, a lot of people follow you, blah blah blah. See, they are not following you. They are following you not because when you are in trouble, those numbers will be there with you in courts. Policemen plenty pass people who can support Naira Marley today for court. Those policemen are not following him on social media, carrying guns, following him with guns. And that is not also to say that the EFCC or the police are chaste. No, they are not chaste. They are not clean themselves. But this is a country that has a law, so the law is backing them to do what they are doing to you. But the reality remains, guys, you don't come out and make such statements openly. You so-called G-boys. I even hate fraud. I hate scam in the first place. But let's face it, you're already doing it, fine. And you are now saying, Papa Sao, because of slavery. It's a lazy escapist argument. Fraud is worse than suicide, and I will tell you the reason I believe that. You know, some people have been arguing lately that because of the rising spate of suicidal activities in the country, some are saying, oh, suicide is cowardly. It's not an act of bravery to commit suicide. It means you are trying to escape or run away from the problems of the world that you meet, or of the country, instead of you to solve the problem and leave. You are running away from it by dying. But I'm telling you that crime is yahoo is even worse than suicide. And the reason is simple. You know, you say you are using the excuse that the situation is already bad, and you are committing crime to escape from it, when you can confront the problem and solve it. Excuse me, all those energy, talent and ideas that you are using to scam people, if all of us youth, we are many, if we put all of those efforts into challenging our 1960 problem, the problem we have now started since 1960, and we are too many to solve the problem, but we are not solving it. We are shying away from it by running into crimes. If all of us come together and solve these problems together, nobody will need to enter yahoo or do crime, and Nigeria has become an ant. Now back to that rugged man case. If not, Rugged Man truly wrote a petition to the EFCC to snitch or to expose or to leak. It's whistleblower, for goodness sake. That doesn't make Rugged Man an Agbaya now. Excuse me, if you have ever traveled out of Nigeria as a Nigerian to any of these advanced countries, and while other nationals that are traveling into the country are presenting their passport and they are going, and it is now the turn of a Nigerian to pass, they now call, because they see a green passport and they see that you're a Nigerian, they now call sniffer dog to come and be sniffing you. You are the only person they are calling sniffer dog for. You have not committed any crime. The only crime you have committed is that you are a Nigerian. What is responsible for all of that? All this brazen, confident, brandishing of Yahoo that we are doing online, that you boys are doing online to stain the rest of us. I don't blame Rugged Man if he truly snitched on Naira Marley. It's just like I have information on a neighbor that is committing crime. I will be a victim someday too if I don't report him to authority. In fact, I will be an accomplice of that crime because I'm aware that he's doing it and I'm not reporting him. So even if Rugged Man truly snitched on Naira Marley, I don't think he's wrong. The only criticism I may have is Rugged Man not man enough to say, well, there were petitions, I also wrote one, and this is the reason. Be man enough to say it. Yes, I agree. But the reality is that don't call him a snitch. He was brave enough to say, no. I've gone through a lot internationally because of the activities of these unscrupulous elements, and I have to report them. It's the same way as some of you that report churches that have loudspeakers on your street and they are disturbing your peace. You report to LASEPA, Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, and they punish the church or close it down or warn them and they stop it. What is that even snitching? Yes, God bless you, Salah Omoji. Is that even snitching? The guy himself reported himself on social media. He went on social media to say you don't condemn Yahoo because it is revenge for slave trade. I don't understand that. Running away from being victim of the old cargoes or the bad politicians, and the only escape route you have is to also become a scammer. No, now two wrongs don't make a right. Having said that, let me now come to EFCC. EFCC, see, we have to go back to a little bit into history. When Obasanjo started EFCC, he wasn't using it to do the correct thing altogether, and all of us can testify to this. He started EFCC because of a few persons to hunt some of his enemies politically. Now they decide to expand or spread their tentacles. But what is worse, therefore, is that EFCC is now using their powers to suppress young Nigerians, small thieves, by the way. And the big thieves, the immunity. EFCC, first of all, should be fighting to end the immunity of corrupt people in government. We don't have to wait until they're out of government and they run away completely. No, there's nothing like that. Now let me tell you how you can channel your energy, those of you that are saying EFCC is biased. Yes, I agree, EFCC is biased. Otherwise, the people that we expect to even see in jail, who are collecting money, bullshit, this, that, collecting allowance and not doing anything at the house, the people who are always scamming Nigerians on all this budgetary bullshit and doing politics to kill many Nigerians economically to their own profits, you are not picking them up. The few ones that have picked up are because of political directive given to you. We know the establishment of EFCC. The person or the so-called people who established EFCC and are funding it, by the way, are not clean themselves. So he who pays the piper costs the tune. We understand that. So EFCC is not itself clean. But having said that, It is not therefore right to say because EFCC is not clean, you want to enter crime also. No, it's wrong. You can live cleanly. He who comes to equity comes with clean hands. If you want equity, you do equity. And then let me tell you how you can channel your energy. All this creativity you put into scamming people, all this effort and energy, sleepless nights sometimes, scamming people. If all of us put those efforts together and just one day, dedicate one day out of every 4 years, dedicate one day to say no. Since 1960, APC and PDP have destroyed the fabrics of this country, the fabrics of the soul of nationhood, for selfish, greedy political people's interests. We want to dedicate one day just to thumb and make a statement and chase all of them out by the ballots. Would that be wrong? No. Would somebody pick you up for voting against the evil doers? Now, let me tell you that Naira Marley may get out of this, and if he gets out, then that's the conclusive end of Nigeria. You know why? If EFCC is not able to prove their case, then that's a big problem. Why pick him up in the first place? And if Naira Marley gets away with the pat on the wrist, you are emboldening other small criminals. You are emboldening the so-called G boys. That's what you're doing. You're emboldening criminals to say, well, you get a pat on the wrist. An example of Naira Marley. And those of you who are saying, oh, Naira Marley is like Bob Marley, but the revolutionaries that went to prison and came out better. Naira Marley is not Bob Marley. Stop that bullshit. Naira Marley is not Bob Marley. The reason that Nelson Mandela went to prison is not the same reason Tony Anene went to prison. They are different. Revolutionaries go to prison and they are prisoners of conscience. Don't mingle it. Don't lump it up with the example of criminals going to prison. They are two separate things altogether. Yes, prison is the common thing between the two of them, the revolutionary and the criminal, but the purposes are different, and the analysis we give to them are also different. The respect we accord them are different. So let's not hero worship criminals for going to prison and say, because he will be going to prison, he will come back. No. And let me also say this. Another reason Naira Marley may come out is I've started reading names. I've covered courts well enough, so I know names in the judiciary. I saw a name of one of the lawyers that are for Naira Marley, and those are the lawyers that, there are two types of lawyers in this country: the lawyer that knows the law and the lawyer that knows the judge. Those are the two types of lawyers in this country: the lawyers that knows the law and the one that knows the judge. Usually, the one that knows the law does not win the case for you. It's just for arguing the case sake. It is the one that knows the judge that wins the case for you. Now, who are the lawyers that know the judge? There are some sons whose presence in court alone intimidates the judge, and the judges don't want to rule against them. I've seen some names in the council, in the defense counsel team, and I'm beginning to suspect that they want to and this is Nigeria. You don't forget, this is Nigeria. So if Naira Marley comes out, I will not be surprised. Okay? If Naira Marley comes out free, I will not be surprised. This country is paddy things. But that's on one side. Don't also forget that they have been picking Nigerians in Saudi Arabia and killing them for a very long time over drug-related cases. But the last time somebody was rescued from Saudi Arabia from death row. How? Because the talk say the papa now one influential person and the presidency had to wade in. Fast. They say they discovered the cartel that was implanting things in people's. So it's only connected people in this country. Only connected people in this country. So if you are not connected. So Naira Marley may have had connections. So I will not, because I saw a name of a particular lawyer. So I understand. Having said that, call me any name, I don't send you any bright. Anybody can call me any name. Alright? But having said that, just search within your soul. If you think committing crime is the response, the correct response to the big political thieves in the country? Ask yourself whether you are correct, whether you are okay. Committing crime in response to crime, is that okay? Nigeria is no longer giant of Africa, we are now ants of Africa. EFCC is biased, seriously biased. You are covering the big political thieves and you are picking small thieves. I agree that if you are not provided employment for people and they are idle, you are opening the windows for them, or floodgates for them to enter into crimes. But how would they survive? But if we borrow ourselves brain too, do we need to enter crime? We don't need to. The effort you put into committing crimes are not. Now let us come to the hypocrisy of Nigerians. Somebody just called me a big fool, for instance, and Bright just called me a big fool, and he hasn't stated the reason. That is another problem. No, he hasn't even said what the problem is. He has, see, if you want to call me a fool, prove it. Oh, you are wrong in this aspect. It is intellectual conversation, but we have too many. I don't want to call you fool back in return, and Bright, but I say that you should be able to establish why you call somebody a fool. Maybe he didn't argue well, or maybe his oppositions are wrong. Okay, but this is the same problem. These are the problems we have in this country. And Bright, these are the problems we have. These are them. Yeah? He hasn't stated the reason they call somebody a fool. He just called him a fool. The same way you say Kinshati Lowo. What song is that? Kinshati Lowo. Waya Kinshati Lowo. Can you imagine that? What are you promoting? What are you promoting? Naira Marley people, you can come after me if you want. I don't care. You know, see, we don't reach one stage for our life in this country. We say we know they care again. If it's a bad day, we know they send anybody again. We are spoiling our names internationally. The moment they see that you have a green passport, they separate you. They separate you. Why? Because of activities of people like you. So why don't we start shaming ourselves from here? We have to start shaming ourselves first of all, so that they will know that it is not all of us that are in consonance or in agreement with all this bullshit you people are doing. What sort of laziness is that? If you cannot go to school, I understand. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out. If you cannot proceed at school, I understand. Bill Gates dropped out. But they are not necessarily scamming the country. They are not doing illegitimate business. It's not about money. They go bury with the money. So what's all this emphasis on money every time? You want to scam white people. You take the money, you scam them, finish, collect the money, take and buy Benz. You are returning the money back to their economy. What is your problem? No, what is your problem? You scam a white man. You collect the money, you take and buy in products. That product go crash, you go buy another one. You go deduct to scam them again to take your money, buy another of in products. Why can't we think of doing something here that they are also patronizing? Now we can start repatriating funding. In fact, we can not only repatriate our funds from there, also attract their own money back into our own economy. Let's be creative now. There are positives, there are negatives. And I'm so disappointed in many Nigerian youths. Very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Naira Marley became suddenly overnight, after singing his ego, and the next thing he wants to do is to sing a song that will validate fraudulent activities, because he wants to belong, because he wants validation. Now, most of the new up and coming artists that we have in the country today, the way they seek validation is not to even sing songs that make meaning or have values anymore. It is to sing songs that glorify immorality. That is the way they seek validation. So before you can blow now, you have to sing either Furo, Idi, or Bo, or Yahoo Yahoo, or hail Yahoo Yahoo people. That is the way to blow in this country now. Can you imagine that? Yes, there's opportunity to make live calls on this show, but not tonight because there's no electricity. I'm improvising, and if I say I should plug more gadgets into the live stream system, my system will drain quickly. So we will not be able to do tonight. I'm sorry about that, Femi Bolaji, but do comments for tonight. We'll open the call subsequently. I'm working on getting alternative source of power in addition to what I have, because I need to split powers so that we can accommodate and do for as long as possible if we want sometimes, right? So thank you for your understanding, Femi Bolaji. Now let's just do live comments for tonight. All right, now Nigerian youth, there's a way out. There's a way, and we are more in number. There's a way out. The way out is all these people you are also complaining about, that they are not providing employment, they are stealing resources, they are looting. If that is your new excuse for Yahoo, that means we have something in common. What we have in common is that we have agreed that our leaders are the problem. Then how do we solve this problem? It is not by going into Yahoo. The way we can solve this problem is the people who have common problem, the oppressed people have something in common. It is their oppression and their oppressors. Let's come together and see how we can throw them out. If this country becomes better, you will not like Yahoo. We know people who have been cultists, who came out to say they regretted being cultists. We know people who were robbers, who came out to say they regretted being robbers. We know people who were doing fraud and came out and said they regretted being frauds or fraudsters. As a result, let us start looking at how we can come together and throw all these bad leaders out. If this country is good, you two will come out one day and say, I regretted being a fraudster. It wasn't a good thing. I'm now in a good position, and I can't imagine being scammed of my hard-earned resources, being robbed of my creativity. If you are a writer, for instance, somebody plagiarized your work. I remember there was a time, and I don't want to do this so that I remember there was a time I went to do a report. I woke up 4:30 a.m. from Songo, went to Lagos, went inside traffic. By the time I was done, I did work. I was working, I was reporting some things in the health sector. I had to go to one hospital, go to this. By the time I finished the work, I sent the work to a particular publisher, and I boarded bus. I had not even got to half the way to get back home. Linda Ikeji already lifted the story word for word and posted it on her blog. I never wanted to mention it, but sometimes you have to make examples of how it can be painful. Linda Ikeji post credit online. She was already using it, to make traffic on her blog, and she was still in her pajamas. Me will go do the work, no credit. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's plagiarism. Now let us import that understanding into somebody who did hard work to build something, and somebody now scams him. Put yourself in that shoe. No, put yourself in that shoe. Just put yourself in that shoe. You now scam somebody who did hard work. Can't go scam him, and you are saying, kokaye. There's a slang they use. Second kaye is a French adaptation. Second kaye and kokaye. Can you imagine that? Kokaye. Okay, Omar, can you sit about prison now? Can you stop doing this bullshit? If you know that what you're doing is Yahoo cannot be a valid protest against bad governance. No, it cannot be. You have to challenge bad governance and kick them out of power. Bad leaders, kick them out of power. That's the way to challenge bad leadership. You don't challenge bad leadership by going into crime and looking for validation or justification. No, it's not in the hair. It's not in the hair. I'm not saying you should not attack me. Go ahead, do it. but it doesn't change the truth. Killing people does not change the truth. Attack me and we know they fear. I know they fear again. No, I don't overcome my fear. Tete, as in tipe. Religious people I don't overcome them. Different people they don't attack me. I don't overcome them. I don't overcome fear. Tete. So let's kukuma talk the truth. I'll look anybody in the eyes now because you are all embarrassing us internationally. You are all embarrassing us internationally, and it's not acceptable anymore. So let us make an example of this one. Let's make an example. So if he goes to jail, I'll pray for him, and the only prayer I can say for him is that he should learn when he comes out. He should not come out stronger as a stronger criminal. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense to come out as a stronger criminal. And the second prayer is that his career doesn't go down by the time he comes out of this. But his career will definitely be stronger if he's not found guilty, and that would be a shame on EFCC. If Naira Marley comes out not guilty and acquitted, you'll be encouraging many people to go into here. Maybe me too, I don't know, because it will look like it's profitable, by the way, and it's okay. So what are you saying? Economic EFCC should just go and sit down, just crash. Because before you even bring charges against somebody, you must have valid evidence enough to prove. Otherwise, you are encouraging the rest of us who never wanted it before, and now we go come join. And by that time, as for you alone. So it's better you know what you are doing in EFCC. So I've not seen that guy come back who said I'm a fool and without reason. Those are the problems we have in this country. Somebody will call you a fool because you are saying something that is bad is actually bad. You are calling me a fool and you cannot justify the crime. Sometimes you wonder why you are in a country with idiots. You know, I don't like sharing the same nationality with idiots. I don't like it, but somehow we have found ourselves here already. You know, it's unfortunate. At any rate, that's just it for today, people. Let's see if I can do a few comments and then we close for today. I didn't plan to come online today, but it's because I started reading some comments online. Some, I don't want to call them idiots, but they know what they are. You know, who will be going online to be. I'm not saying he's a criminal. Until he is found guilty, yes, he's not a criminal. But hey, let me tell you something in legal parlance. They will say you are innocent until proven guilty. But there are some prima facie cases. Prima facie means from the face of it you can already see. You don't need any further proof. Alright? Prima facie cases. Like this one. Okay? He's not a criminal because the state has not found him guilty of crime. But he has an offense, and the offense is coming out to justify that wrongdoing. Do you understand it? Coming out to justify. See, bless me, Lord. Dino Melaye can be a criminal too. I'm not. See, you don't get it. You don't use one crime to justify another crime. Two wrongs cannot make a right. That's what we are saying. I'm not absolving Dino Melaye. I'm not absolving him. All of them are idiots as far as I'm concerned. All of those people in the Senate, they are not representing our interests. The Senate should be scrapped, in my own opinion, because they are not doing anything. Dino Melaye brandishing is ingloriously, acquired wealth. You are brandishing wealth in the face of mass poverty. For me, it's immoral. So don't think I'm justifying the idiot people that you call leaders because of small criminals. The two of them are wrong in the first place. So don't think I'm justifying one to criticize the other. No. But what I'm simply saying that the young people by themselves are not doing well. You don't go into crime to justify another criminal or to oppose another criminal. No. What is wrong is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? K1, that guy never came back. I've not seen him come back now. That's the problem. They can't sustain it the moment they know that they are guilty. They can't sustain the argument. He called me a fool and ran away. You can't stay. And I didn't block him. I don't block people. I never blocked anybody on my show. That's the issue. And then you are claiming that something is wrong, and you're also doing another wrong thing to justify your own. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, in my opinion. And I think it's not good. We shouldn't be doing that. EFCC is wrong. Nigerian leaders are the wrongest. And Yahoo boys are the wrongest test, if there's any word like that. Now let me say this as I close. I will not criticize somebody for going to donate their kidney in Malaysia. And I know what I'm talking about. If your own escape route that you believe is your escape is to go and donate your kidney in Malaysia, I will not fight. I will not criticize you. In fact, I will not talk about it. It's your problem. But if you engage in crime and you are now coming out to rub it on our face that crime is good, is an offense. That is Naira Marley's guilt. I'm not the one who fight charges against him. EFCC has their case to prove against him, not me. But what I'm saying is, coming out to even make justification of Yahoo, internet fraud and scam that is against the law and that is wrong. Does conscience tell you that scam is right or robbery is right? What are you justifying? When I say prima facie, there are two things here. There's difference between offense or sin. There's difference between sin and crime. And let me clarify it. No, don't get it wrong. There's difference between sin and crime. Sin is when you violate natural justice. All right. Crime is when it contravenes the law of the state. I'm not calling him a criminal. I've said he's guilty of an offense that is against natural justice. Coming on air to justify what is criminal is a sin itself. Is an offense. Is wrong. That is his guilt. And I've said it before that EFCC has their case to prove against him for crime. So I'm not the prosecutor. So I'm not saying he's guilty, and I'm not a judge. So I cannot pronounce him guilty of crime. I hope you get it now. But I'm saying it's offense, not crime now. It's offense. Something that is offensive to public sensibility is that you come out to justify Yahoo. Coming out to justify Yahoo is offensive to public intelligence. So it will now be a crime if the state finds him guilty. Do you get the two separate things now? Aha. So I know what I'm talking about. But I know what I'm doing. Okay? So it's an offense to public sensibility to come out and be justifying what is wrong. It's offensive to the rest of us who want something to be right. So that is his guilt. So it is now left for the state to prove his crime. For Google says he will be acquitted, he contravened no law. So if I say drinking is good, I should be arrested? No. You are making a mistake. Have you read the counts against him? He was said to be in possession of a card that doesn't belong to him. A credit card. And Yahoo usually takes that pattern. The pattern is that they commit credit card fraud. When you have multiple identities, my name is Shegun, for instance, and I have credit cards that bear strange names that probably nobody bears, and I'm using it to scam, to buy things online without paying, or to buy things fraudulently. What do you call that? Aha. See, all these excuses of where's Evans the kidnapper, you are using one crime to justify another crime, does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. That is not justice. You don't seek justice by using one crime to justify another. Evans the kidnapper is a criminal. It doesn't make other criminals right. Some people will say Asaraki is a criminal. Why is he not being in jail? That is why I've criticized immunity and EFCC's bias. Do you get it? We know those are supposed to be in jail, not working free. It does not therefore make your own crime right or your own offense to be right. No, it doesn't. For as long as you are reasoning like this, we will not move in this country. Whereas Evans the kidnapper, you are using one crime to justify another. Does it make sense? I have criticized Bobrisky before, and I said he has gender identity disorder. He fought me. I told him face to face. I told him that, don't you think you have gender identity disorder? He fought me. He should seek help. He has gender identity disorder, but he's turning that into business. But this is a country where, you know, because you have a big man that you call a bae, they protect you. See, you are still missing the point. The point is that you don't use crime to justify crime. You don't say because one person is free, it therefore means every other criminals must be allowed to work freely. That's what we are saying. That somebody is a criminal, A is working free, does not justify you being a criminal too. That's what we are saying. So you don't come out and say because Evans the kidnapper has not been sentenced yet, therefore means it is a license for every other person to start committing crime. Don't say such. We will not move forward that way. So Naira Marley is wrong in entirety for coming out. See, we all condemned SARS criminality together, and SARS, we know what progress we have recorded on SARS. At least they have asked them to be. There has been an order for complete overhaul of the SARS. We all criticize SARS together. It is not therefore to say because SARS has now become a criminal department, we should not therefore say Yahoo Yahoo becomes legal. Therefore, no, it doesn't make sense. That because SARS is humiliating people, because SARS is harassing average or innocent Nigerians, or even harassing Yahoo boys, therefore makes Yahoo Yahoo legal. It doesn't make sense now. We all criticize SARS. In fact, I just caught my dread. Now. I also, in protest, in solidarity with the people who were being harassed by SARS, I went to make dread. I just caught it only 2 days ago. I went to make dread too. Over a year now, almost a year I've been carrying dread, because I wanted to solidarize with people who were being harassed just for carrying dread. And I was not harassed. Each time they stopped me and I told them, excuse me, did you stop me because of my dread? They always let me go. So those of you that are being picked, check yourself. Check yourself. Alright? These are two things entirely. If he made a music glorifying Yahoo business, this is an offense. Why was he not arrested then? If he was caught with a credit card, it's a court. We have been saying the same thing now. The offense is you seem to justify a crime. They pick you up to investigate you. In the course of the investigation, they detected credit cards. Is it not the same thing you are saying? Detecting a strange credit card with you that you have been using to do some shady transactions. They now link it with the song you sang. What are we saying? Is it not the same thing? Fogusi, you are making a lot of assumption. How do we know the credit card wasn't? I have said it before. You see, play this video back. I said it before. I said the escape he has is for somebody to show up who actually has the name of the credit card Naira Marley possesses, and the person says, yes, I'm the person who gave it to him, and it is my support for his work to to get anything he wants. Do you understand it? That would be a good defense, because he already pleaded guilty, and he will have to open his defense. So that is one way for him to escape. I've said it before now. That means you have not been listening. That's the problem. Nigerians, they like referencing to stupid things that are not related. That's the problem. Nobody came out to say Naira defraud or stole from them just because he sang about. No. Have you read the 11 count charges preferred against him? Go and read it, then update what you are saying. Kayode, check, don't waste your time. I came to conclusion that more Nigerians are corrupt. That is why they will keep defending or use one criminal to justify another criminal. They will know what this is about. Marcus Justice says, Yahoo boys go get a job and stop stealing. You lot are a thief. Plato says that was what he said. Well, at this point, me, I don't have electricity. My system is already warning me that it's about to go off, so I have to go. Alright, this is what we are talking about. We are fighting for this country to be better. You are committing crime and you are using it to justify another crime. If all of those oppressed people, all of us that are oppressed because of the bad leadership that we have in this country, if all of us come together and kick all these bad people out, will this country not be better? That is what you should ponder over. As they go, I'll see you guys tomorrow. My system is already on. If it goes off suddenly, it will look abrupt. So let me close it formally. My name is Shego, all people, and I thank you so much for your attention. I'll see you again another time. And that is also to tell you, my people, that if you want to fight against what is wrong, don't do crime. Do like Fela. It is for that reason that I will give you Fela, this Mididri song about Fela, as I close.
Music in the arts. It's already
Black power. He's still living. I say he still lives. Yo, Kalakuta vibe, call. He still lives. Yo, African shrine, call. He still lives. Yo, Shagunolu Dotun. He still lives. He's still living. I say he still lives.
Everybody knows. You show us the folly, you show us the freedom, you taught us the grinding, you taught us the holy.
So I think, as far as Africa is concerned, music cannot be for